in terms of safety, like some of these drugs, like if you watch, I think it was Magic Mushroom. I can't remember the name of the movie, but there's a movie specifically on mushrooms, and they talked about the safety of mushrooms. And look, you can overdo anything, and like you can reference people, and you can be like, yeah, that guy, like somewhere along the line, that guy lost his mind. I don't know if he did too many psychedelics or if he did too many mushrooms or too much LSD or smoked too much. We know guys that smoke too much pot, and you're like, that guy ain't all there anymore, man. Like he was fine. He was high a little bit here and there, and now he's like, now he seems fucked, right?
Yeah.
We've seen that happen to people, and so you do need to be cautious. But what they said in the Magic Mushroom movie was, there's no instance of somebody taking this and like dying from it. But I don't want that to be like the marker of like that it's not dangerous, because like death is a pretty big thing. When it comes to kratom, the only deaths I'm aware of that have happened directly from it, which is always a tough thing to prove, is from people taking the powder and they were trying to dry scoop the powder, which you can't do because it's not water soluble. It's like cinnamon, like that shit. Like it. So people would take it and they coughed and choked and died that way. So that's definitely something that you don't want to mess with. The reason why I talked about being high is because I don't necessarily view being high as being a bad thing. So like I just, that's up to each person's interpretation. Again, you can kind of, is that helpful? Is it hurtful to you in your personal life to be a little bit high here and there? Maybe it's detrimental. Maybe you're a doctor. Maybe you're not in a position to like ever fuck with that stuff. Except for maybe when you have some downtime or something like that. So those are all things to kind of think about. But kratom it's in a category of opioids. So it's important to know, like, it can be really powerful. Now, I would say that opioids, like, I feel like I have a fairly open mind. So I think that cocaine, from a cocaine leaf, I think was put on this earth for a reason. I think that these things are here for a reason. I think they're plant medicines. And I would put mushrooms in the same category as caffeine when it comes to that. However, we have fucked everything up in this world.
That's what we do.
Poppy seeds and stuff like that, opioids, where they come from. I might be misspeaking on some of this since I don't know all the information on it, but I think that these things are here for a reason. I think they can be really helpful. Like, have people used opioids responsibly in the past, hundreds of years ago? Have Native Americans done that? Have other people, other cultures probably done that? Probably so. They're probably like, yeah, man, I chew on these leaves and it made me feel great. I was able to get all this work done. I was able to kill a buffalo, and I was able to do all these things. And so I think a lot of these things are great, but we have adulterated everything. We have kind of ruined everything by making things by making things way stronger, by making things for monetary gain. A lot of the kratom products that are out there, you don't know what's in them. A lot of times people are putting like a lot of caffeine in them to give you a different kind of boost. They might even be putting other stuff in there to give you a kind of boost. In talking to some people that I know in the industry, they're like, yeah, man, the supplement industry alone can be really fucked up. I mean, you can go on Amazon and buy something and try to get a reputable company. You can order something that's bottled and looks the same as the company that you're going for. Let's say you're going for something from like Jarrow or something like that, like a company where you're like, yeah, they've been around a long time. Like, that's pretty reputable. There's people that are ripping that shit off.
Like using the tag and
using everything. It looks exactly the same. They can't be busted fast enough. So you don't know what you're getting. Most likely there's probably not anything dangerous in there, but you're not getting what you wanted. You're not getting what you asked for.
Yeah. That's an iffy thing. When you were talking about like these, like even the cocaine leaf, if it was called the cocaine leaf, what I think is a dangerous thought. Years ago, when I smoked weed the first few times, there was this thought that popped into my head where I'm like, wow, if only I could think like this all the time. You know how cool things would be if you could just think like this all the time? And then for about a few weeks, I was just smoking a little bit every day, and I was like, this isn't good for me. This is very bad for me. I need to taper this back. I need to use this as something to like, because what it had helped me with was to be more open, to loosen up a little bit, because I'm kind of a tight ass dude, right? I'm a little bit rigid. It helped me not be as rigid. And I took that into my normal day to day when not on a substance. I think that's how like we should, first off, if you ever have the thought of like, I wish I could be like this all the time, understand that thought. That's cool. Now, don't use that thought as an excuse to start doing this all the time, perpetually, because you don't want it to be that now when you're not on substances, you don't feel like you're good enough. Just like Paul was saying when we were podcasting with him, like a lot of times when people drink, it's like it's social lubricant. It's something that you feel better when you're a little tipsy, right? You feel like you can talk with people better, right? But you should want to be able to do that without anything. You should be good enough with who you are. And these substances can help you do that a bit when you're on them, but then you can literally take that, and when you're not on this, you can still be that same person, right? It's dangerous to go down the rabbit hole of like, I'm a better me when I'm smoking weed, or I'm a better me when I'm using kratom. You're not a better you, right? You're just using something that's helping you think in a little bit of a different way. Now take that thought process and have that be something you do in your daily life.
I love it. For me personally, I usually take about a third of the Mind Bullet potion, and you'll see them. They're all over Super Training. They're all over my car. They're everywhere. But I got little things of them like left over.
I've taken some of your leftovers before. I've gone to the gym and like, okay,
they're just sitting around. Because again, I don't.
Power Project family, how's it going? Now, we like to look good in the gym and out of the gym. That's why you always see Mark and I and Andrew is stepping up on the short game, wearing shorts from Viore and clothes from Viore. And honestly, the number one compliment that I've seen, that I've gotten, and even Mark's gotten, is, damn, your butt looks good. And that's because, well, the clothes we wear make our booties look delicious. Andrew, how can they get it?
Yeah, you guys both have pretty big wagons. You guys can head over to viore.com/power project. That's VUORI.com/power project to receive 20% off the most amazing apparel that looks so good inside and outside of the gym.
It's going to make your ass look fat,
and your ass will look fat. Links to them down in the description, as well as the podcast show notes. God damn it.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Make your ass look fat.
I haven't noticed a huge difference off of taking a lot of it, other than just being like kind of high and loopy. And I'm like, that's like, I don't need to be sent off into outer space.
Yeah.
It's nice to be up in the clouds and get a different vantage point for things, but I don't need to go to fucking Mars, you know? So I try to take it in what I would consider for me to be a reasonable dose. Keep in mind, I have been doing it for a few years. In terms of negative side effects, I have not seen a negative side effect in any blood work that I've had. However, my blood work might be like this or that from a handful of things. You know, I have been using testosterone for quite some time, and so some of that might alter things. Some of the things I do with my diet might alter things. So it's kind of hard to tell, like, did anything specifically come from the usage of kratom? I haven't noticed like erratic breathing. You know, I utilize kratom a lot before I go and run. I haven't noticed anything with that. In terms of like heart rate, I don't really track my heart rate a lot, and certainly not very accurately, because if I do, it's only through the watch. I don't have like the heart rate monitor chest piece on, which can be about 10 beats different sometimes. But I haven't like looked at like a run and been like, oh my God, like it was, you know, considerably, you know, off. It was like 180 when normally my heart rate is like, you know, 150 or something like that. So I personally haven't noticed anything like that, but you've noticed some differences in your heart
rate variability.
Heart rate variability, right?
Yeah. So the thing is like before podcasts, my habit was literally to down a full potion, right? And that was like 3 or 4 times a week. I would down a full potion. Again, I did have instances where I wasn't using it or using kratom at all, and I was good. So it's not like I felt like I needed kratom, but I would use a full potion. So when I started wearing my Oura ring, it tracks your HRV perpetually. And there was a few times where we weren't podcasting at all. So I wasn't using any kratom. And when I was using kratom, or not kratom specifically, but when I was downing a full potion, on those nights, I would have low HRV, and you don't want a low HRV. That's a sign that you're not as recovered, apparently. So my HRV was like 20 to 30, and I was
want
like,
like
damn,
a higher, right?
you want a higher HRV. You want it to be like 60 to 100 or potentially more. And I was like, damn, I feel fine, but why is my HRV low? So, and I noticed like when we weren't podcasting, like when you would go on vacation or whatever, and I wasn't using it, my HRV would pop up. I was like, okay, let me test this out. So another day I downed a potion. That night I had a low HRV, even though I didn't work out and I was well recovered. So I was like, okay, I lowered the dosage of the amount of potion I was using. So now I only do like a fourth to a third, okay? And I've been good. But that's because you keep the dosage low. At least that's what happened for me.
What
with
is
my
HRV? Can you explain it a little bit?
Heart rate variability is the millisecond beat, like your heart beats, but it's the milliseconds from beat to beat, right? So if your HRV is low, what it's a sign of is that you are in a more sympathetic state, meaning that you could be calm, but if something happens, you're more likely to be on edge at something happening. And if you have a higher HRV, you're more likely to be able to handle stress and come right back to normal quicker. That's what they've noticed with heart rate variability. So you want your heart rate variability to be high. It's also a sign like the Oura Ring, the 8 Sleep mattress. If your HRV is low, it could be a sign that you need to maybe rest a little bit today or not work out as hard.
Is it measuring from like one heartbeat to the next, or is it measuring like kind of your highest heart rate of the day and your lowest heart rate of the day?
One heart rate to the next, because when I look at how it tracks on the Oura Ring, it's like perpetually tracking your HRV every single hour. So it's literally the millisecond average from beat to beat. So you don't want to have a 20 HRV or a 30 HRV. Apparently that's a sign that you need to rest a little bit more, because you want a few more spaces or millisecond spaces between beat to beat.
I understand. Like if you didn't sleep, like if you just didn't sleep at all, your reaction to something would be you're gonna register being more stressed.
If you get bad rest, if you get bad sleep, you're gonna have low HRV.
Right.
If you work out really, really, really hard and you don't give yourself enough, like you don't give yourself recovery well for the next day, it's low HRV is a sign that you need to recover, right? But I was noticing that even on days I wasn't, but if I did too much of this, my HRV would be low. So that's why I used to do full potions. Now the potion takes me like 3 days to finish if I'm going to do a potion. And I like them. I like the way this feels. And this lasts a little bit longer. The capsules don't last longer, but I feel it.
They take a little longer to hit. For me, yeah.
The potions hit you faster, but I do a third and I'm good now. So that's the thing. It's like, I didn't even realize that it was too much. I felt fine. I didn't feel anything too wild, but I'm doing a third of a potion now whenever I take it.
And the capsules can be fairly safe because you can like literally divvy out the exact amount that you want.
Yeah.
You can be like, I'm gonna take one now, and if I feel like I need more later, I can do it later. And sometimes you don't, and sometimes maybe you feel like you do.
Power Project family, we appreciate you checking out this clip. Check out another one. Just go check out another one. Or comment down below and let us know what you liked about this one. But we love you guys, and we're gonna keep bringing you the heat. So comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff, okay? Peace.